It wasn't one particular thing, Robert. It's something I've been thinking about for a while. As we've talked about before, I'm frustrated with some of the things happening in Louisiana, but I'm frustrated with some of the things happening in my country.
Give me your top two or three. Pardon me. Give me your top two or three.
I want my country back. I don't like the direction we're headed. I was raised in a small town by conservative parents. My parents taught my brothers and I, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but they taught us God, family, country, education, discipline, hard work. I think America's losing those values. Our children's generation is the first generation in America that's at risk of being worse off than their parents. And I know that's a bold statement, but it's true. I mean, the American dream is at risk, and the reason's very simple. It's harder than ever to get ahead in our country today, and it's easier than ever to do nothing. I mean, here's what I see. I look around and I see too many undeserving people, the special people, as they call themselves, at the top getting bailouts, and I see too many undeserving people at the bottom getting handouts, and the rest of us in the middle get the bill, and we can't pay it.
John, what makes you a better candidate than our Congressman John Fleming, Charles Bustani, and the many others that are lining up?
I'm not interested in criticizing John or Charles. They're both good guys, and they're friends of mine. They're part of the United States Congress, and I'm sure they'll argue that that they have experience and that I don't in work in Congress. I consider that a compliment. I mean, what have President Obama and Secretary Clinton and the United States Congress done for us in the last 8 years? We've lost 2 wars. We've had the worst recession since the Depression. We've had the weakest recovery from the recession. We've been embarrassed by Putin. We've seen the stunning rise of China, which is eating our lunch and stealing our jobs. We've been attacked at home by terrorists, and the world is on fire with ISIS.
Would you repeal Obamacare?
Absolutely. Obamacare sucks.
Get right to the point, huh?
I don't think you read that off a cue card.
No, I don't think you did.
Well, I mean, look, I'm most Louisianians know me. I try not to be rude, but I speak my mind. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Obamacare was supposed to make our lives better. It was supposed to make health insurance more accessible, and it was supposed to make health insurance cheaper. It has made our lives work. For maybe 10% of our population, we have turned the healthcare delivery system upside down for 90%. There's a better way. I want to stay in a country where a mom and dad can take their sick child to a family doctor instead of to an emergency room because they have health insurance that is affordable, that they choose from the private sector. And we've got the money to do it.
You know, Mr. John, I tell people all the time the reason for the Trump popularity, for the Trump, why he's just so big with so many people, is that he's the only one, or at least the first, who was trumpeting the problem with open borders. And the rest, the Republican hierarchy, if you will, doesn't seem to get that. Do you agree with that?
Look, border security is now national security. They're not two separate issues. You know, the issue of the Syrian refugees. We can't take the refugees, and it's not because Americans don't want to. The American people are the most compassionate people in the history of the world. We are. I mean, in our country, if you're hungry, we feed you. If you're homeless, we house you. If you're sick, we'll pay for your doctor. 10,000 Syrian refugees, 9,999 might be just fine. But one might be a terrorist. And we can't take the risk, and there's no way to check their background. What are we going to do? We're going to go call the Secretary of State of Syria? I mean, There is no way to do background checks on these folks. What we need to do is work with Turkey, work with Iraq, and set up an area in the Middle East, a safe area for these refugees. There's no reason for them to have to go to Europe or to have to come to America. I'm sure they'd prefer to stay in their own region, and that's what our goal ought to be, is to set up a safe area near their own country.
Pardon me, John, less than 60 seconds.
One more thing. You have said too many poor people are getting handouts. That's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. How do you change it and still help those who really need help?
Well, one of the first things you can do is enforce the work requirement. Food stamps, welfare was supposed to be a bridge, not a parking lot. The way we ought to measure success is not how many people are on welfare, but how many people aren't, because we got them a job. Free market capitalism has done more to lift people out of poverty than any government program ever created.